Well, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to get started a little bit early today for the last Hardrock Club Coaches Luncheon. Coach Larsen is going to be the first guy up here. The women's basketball program has won 3 out of their last 4 games there. Finished pretty strong, Coach. I'll tell you what, you haven't been up here the last couple weeks. Ketty Paulus did a nice job filling us in on that. And now you get an opportunity to finish strong here as you did in the regular season. So welcome, Coach Ryan Larsen.
Thank you, Nate. Good to be back. Missed you guys. But yeah, on the road, as everybody knows, a lot of travel for us down in Texas and then California last week. Sorry, I got a dine and dash. I got to make this pretty quick. Thank you, Nate, for getting me up here early. But I got to get to Northern Colorado, watch a recruit tonight. So unfortunately, even though Coach Henry is here, it's the perfect time for me to rattle on and take my time and really talk about the season, but I can't. I got to make it pretty quick and get out to a 6 o'clock game. We did end the year very well. The last time I was here, I told you I was really confident that we would finish the year strong, and we did. We ended up winning 7 out of our last 12 games. Finished the year at 7-5, and I was extremely proud of our kids' effort down the stretch where they bought into continually getting better and competing every game. Our last trip out in San Diego, I think Ketty filled you in a little bit about our travel woes. We had a flight canceled out of Rapid City, and for about 15 minutes at the Rapid City airport, I didn't think we were getting to California, period. And then luckily we were able to catch a flight to Salt Lake City and stay the night in Salt Lake City Sunday night. Got up at 5 a.m., caught the early flight out of Salt Lake City to Los Angeles, rented a van in LA and drove down. We got to San Diego at 1 o'clock, had a quick bite to eat, and we watched film at 2, loaded up the van again at 3:30 and went and competed for a game. And that was hard. That was a really hard travel day. But played a pretty good team in Cal State San Marcos, and just that game was all guts, is what it was. We told the kids, we know you're tired, we know your legs are shot, and your minds probably aren't here, but this is a game of just who has the greater willpower. And our kids did an outstanding job of just really digging deep and finding ways to win a good game. We started the game really strong, and then it was just kind of a slugfest from there on out. They made a couple of runs, but we answered every time and held on to win a close contest by 8 points. And that was probably one of the greater wins for us this year. Just showing that toughness after a really hard trip and competing to the best of our abilities. And again, just finding ways to win a game. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't a thing of beauty. We just found ways to win and held on for a good win. And then the next night, we played a good team in Point Loma. They hadn't been beaten in their gym all year. I'm not sure what their overall record was, but well above 500. And we played a really good game that night as well. We had a 10-point lead with about, I think it was 4.5 to go, and we had a turnover. We had back-to-back turnovers, which was a 6-point swing, and then the wheels just kind of fell off. And I really feel that really the hard travel of that trip just finally took its toll that last 5 minutes of the game. We were finding ways to put points on the board. We never really defended well the entire game, but our legs and our minds just totally went that last 5 minutes and ended up losing the game by 4, but competed really well. I was, again, happy with our kids' effort. We had a good offensive output that night with a bunch of kids as far as double figures and stuff like that, and assist or turnover ratio. But life on the road, all it takes is 5 bad minutes and you're going to lose the game, and that's unfortunately what it was. We played 35 good minutes of basketball, and then unfortunately our 5 minutes were at the end where kind of the wheels just fell off, and after a long hard travel day of playing back to back, we just couldn't quite hang on to that one. But great trip. Kids had fun. got a split, which is always what you're kind of hoping for on the road. But unfortunately, we had a tremendous chance of getting a road sweep. And then to finish our last game of the year at Johnson Wales just the other day, our goal for that game was to play our best game of the year, and we did. I tell you what, I kept the box score, and I think I'm going to put it in a frame and hang it in my office just because there are some numbers on there that you don't see very often. First of all, we scored 100 points, which nothing against the team, but I didn't think we were capable of hitting triple digits all year. But it was it was quite an offensive power, and especially in the second half where we put 60 on the board in the second half, and 60 points is more than what we averaged on a season. Um, it all came together against that game at Johnson and Wales. It was a lot of fun, and it was so much fun that you know we were sad to see the season end. You're always disappointed when a season ends, but especially after the way we played that last game, it was a lot of fun. And again, all the credit to the kids where they just continued to get better at what we preached all year. And it all just came to a head that last game against Johnson and Wales, and we we put 100 points on the board. And a team that averages 80 points, we held them under 70, I believe. I'm not sure what they ended up with, but what a tremendous game. Larry was there. Yeah, he can attest to what kind of effort that we put forward. We had a lot of nice compliments from parents and alumni who were there who hadn't seen our team play all year, but just a fantastic way to end the year again. Um, as far as the season goes, Brad, you going to put that slide up for me? Alexis Long, our sophomore starting point guard, she moves into number 15th all time with 3-pointers made on list, which is 73. Alexis led us this year in 3-pointers made and percentage as well. We just met with Alexis this morning, and if you look at her stats throughout the year, pretty streaky. Where one game she'd have 3 or 4 threes a game, and then next game she didn't have a goose egg up there. So if she can get consistent with her makes throughout the season, she'll be in the top 10 next year. I feel really confident about. She had a tremendous year for us, and that nice little accolade for her there to move in the top 15 with 3-pointers made. That's a big number there. 73 is a good number. Hopefully we can get that closer to 200 next year. That'd be great. Renee Waters, our senior, wanted to recognize her. She's our lone senior on the roster. Um, I've talked about Renee a couple of times, especially when she was here speaking at the luncheon. Um, it's hard for seniors to really buy into what a new coach is preaching. And this young lady, again, I speak the world of her because from day one when I got here, she did everything that Ketty and I asked of her. Um, she never flinched at anything that we changed. We put a lot of pressure on her as far as being a senior leader, and she just bought in 100% from the get-go. And that was a big reason for our success this year, with her leadership and her telling those young kids, this is how we're doing it right now. And you need to start to fall in line. And she, simply because of that, the main reason why I just think so highly of her is the way she bought into what we were asking the kids to do and the senior leadership that she brought. Really going to miss that kid next year for all those reasons. She had a tremendous game at Johnson and Wales. She was our best post defender all year long. So we're going to miss her deeply, but she's on to bigger and better things next year. She's right now choosing between a couple of different schools to start her PhD. And I feel very confident that she'll get her pick of the litter, wherever she decides to go. I've written a couple of letter of recommendations for her, and I tell you what, I can't write a better letter of recommendation than I can for this young lady right here. Again, sorry, I really got to get going. I got to hit the road to get to Colorado, but hopefully next week I'll have a chance to really elaborate on the season a lot more. Just how proud I am of this group. Again, finishing the stretch, our last 12 games, 7-5, and we got better every game. Every player got better individually. We got better as a team. But one thing I will say about that game from Johnson and Wales, and speaking with the kids afterwards, it's a great momentum booster heading into the spring as far as workouts individual conditioning, stuff like that. It's just a great springboard for us for this spring and obviously next year as well. Any questions before I hustle out of here? I do have time for any questions that we have. Larry.
What was the point differential 5 minutes into the second half with Johnson and Wills?
You know, it was single digits, wasn't it? It was 2 points, right? It was 2 points. And then, I'll take a little credit that we did make a couple adjustments coaching-wise, and I'll pat myself on the back there. And made a couple in-game adjustments, and sure enough, off to the races we went. I like a good question, though. Coach Collins.
Hey, going through after you're done with your first season now, what are the top 2 or 3 things that you need to, I hate to use the word change, but heading into season 2, what are your top 2 or 3 priorities?
Looking at a little bit more depth for next year's roster. Recruiting is going really well. Obviously can't speak a whole lot about that, but looking to add a little bit more depth. The one biggest thing that we need to change, and everybody knows this, as we speak about this at length, is we got to become better scorers. We have to shoot the basketball a lot better. We had a lot of open looks this year that should go down, and that's going to be our focus this spring. We're good at getting them off, but now we got to be makers. We got to make defense pay for what we're doing offensively, and we have to make some jumpers. The one thing that we did talk about a team afterwards, and I've talked about this a number of times too, where I coached this team hard this year. I did. I was on them about a lot of things. I was pretty hard on them a lot, but obviously there's a reason for that. There's expectations that I have for my teams, and it's to compete every day in practice and games, and they now know that what is expected of them as far as competing and getting better every day. And now it kind of falls on their shoulders where, this spring, they have to get individually better. And they're buying into that as well. So we set the standard there as far as what we expect, as far as working hard and competing and just putting your best foot forward every day in practice and in games. But now it's time to raise the bar a little bit and get ourselves better individually, and ultimately that's going to make our team better as well. Anything else? Tom, I ain't seen you in about a month. I know you're I'm surprised you didn't come in here with a notebook or something for me.
I just want to know if you can drive the speed limit.
Even if I had time, I wouldn't drive the speed limit, but I probably shouldn't say that on a webcast. But anyway, thank you very much. Look forward to next week. I will have more time to talk at length about exactly the season and, again, kids more individually. But I didn't want to miss this luncheon to talk about our last couple games. Couldn't be more excited about where we're at and where we're heading as a program. This is some definitely time or well-needed time off, but I'm ready to get going again here in a couple of weeks. Now you got one.
You can come here next week, but nobody else.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Whenever you guys need me again.
I'm sure you'll talk whenever.
Well, like I said, Coach Henry isn't here, and I could talk that length today, but I got to get going. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Take care.
Nice job, Coach. Nice finish to the year, no question about it. Jerry Schafer, head coach of the track and field team, up next. Want to talk about the past weekend here.
We had kind of a small crew last week. I think I talked about taking 2 kids over to University of Wyoming to a Division I indoor meet. Called it the Wyoming Rocky Mountain Classic. Air Force, University of Wyoming hosted, and then Northern Colorado was also there, as well as some individuals. They allowed us to bring over a couple of individuals. We took Lillian Temple. I actually sent Coach Johnson, Steve Johnson, with the 2 athletes we took. Lillian Temple, our 5th-year senior, multi-high jumper, long triple jumper, 400 runner, all around, all-purpose athlete. competed, as well as Brian Freed, our fifth-year senior top thrower. They did very, very well. Lillian finished third in the high jump. She equaled her season best at 5'3". Had some really good jumps at 5'5", which would have put her pretty close to a national qualifier, a provisional qualifier. She also finished seventh in the triple jump and had her second best jump of the season. She was about 2 inches off of her best jump of the season and school record from 2 weekends ago. So she had a nice weekend, or a nice meet on Friday. We didn't make it easy on either she or Brian, because Coach loaded them up at 7 o'clock last Friday morning, and they started competing about 4 o'clock in Laramie. So they drove down, shook out the cobwebs, and started competing. And Brian did a good job for us as well. He finished third in the weight throw. Did not get that better throw that we were looking for yet. And this week he dropped from 19th to 23rd on the list. So he's going to have to get, he's got one more shot to get the big throw to get to nationals. And we're going to give that a shot this week in the weight throw. Brian did throw 58 feet, 4.5 inches in the weight throw for his second best throw of the season in that event. And then he was fifth in the shot at 49 feet, 3 3/4 inches. So, again, against Division I competition, both stepped up and really competed well. They were not the tail enders by any stretch of the imagination. So, we were very pleased with what they got done. So, questions? Brian's best throw last year was under 56 feet. He was in the 55-foot plus range. So he actually has improved by about 4 feet in the weight throw this year. His best shot put is indoors. He's kind of struggled with that event a little bit this year in the shot, but he's been over 50 feet once. And outdoors last year, he hit a 53-footer, second or third meet of the season. So we know he's got that ability. It's just a matter of hitting the timing in that event. And that is not, the shot put is probably not his strong event anyway. Brian's best two events are going to be outdoors with the discus and the hammer. So his best performances are yet to come in the events that he excels at. So, other questions? Okay, we actually wrap up our indoor season this weekend at Nebraska Wesleyan in Lincoln. D3 school hosting, probably see some junior college schools. This is a traditional conference weekend for most Division II schools. So since we're not in a conference till next year, we put this meet together, and we're going to treat it like it's our conference meet. We're going to take 21 men, 17 women, and see how well we can score. So, thank you.
Soccer head coach Joe Berger announced some, great recruits last week, and he'll expand on those a little bit for you as well, in case you missed it. So, soccer head coach Joe Berger, welcome him up.
Hey, thanks for having me. I think, as we were here last year and I kept saying the same story over, I'm really excited about starting the 14th season with 8 new players. We're still recruiting to move forward, and we'll probably add 3 or 4 more to this. But part of starting a new program is making sure that your recruiting classes build on top of each other. Every one of these kids is much improved over the quality of the kids that we have had coming in. Not saying that the kids that we haven't had here are working hard, but these kids add to us in a lot of different ways. I think it's awesome that we have Lane Schroeder from Stevens High School joining us. Jake Smith from Colorado, Sean Talbert, Darren James, Lars Scow, whose brother will be a junior on our team, Cody Wellman, Matt Kinney, and Braden Federley are awesome. I think the huge challenge for us is to make sure that we keep improving the quality of our play so that we can get over the hump in the GNAC conference. I think moving on from this, we just announced our 2014 schedule, which includes 11 home games and 7 away. So I think we're pretty lucky that a couple of our brothers from the GNAC have decided to help us come down here the first 2 weekends and co-op and help us play a team from Illinois, a team from Iowa, and then we play a Missouri school and a Kansas school the second weekend. So I think being able to give those guys the experience of the Rapid Hills and Mount Rushmore obviously is a great educational experience that teams want to come see if we can maximize that. But I think we'll be able to do a lot this year. I'm excited about where we're standing in the GNAC conference next year because there were a lot of good seniors that left the league, and we still don't have any. So hopefully our juniors are ready to lead, and we're excited about going a little bit. I think the interesting is adding another Norway young man who has deep roots to the university too. I think is exciting too because of his family name and coming to school here. So I think that's good as well. You know, I think it's kind of unique that our only away games are conference games, and I think that also gives our student athletes an advantage in the classroom a little bit. You know, we're not on the road till October 1st, which is the first 2 months of the soccer season past, going into the last 8 weeks. So I think that's going to be a very positive experience for our young men. Any questions for me? You know, I think we are pretty honored to represent the RMAC playing in the GNAC conference next year, and I think we look forward to carrying the banner of the RMAC to the Pacific Northwest as we finish up our commitment to the GNAC. And we want to represent not only our institution, but those great institutions of the RMAC first class, like I believe our young men did last year, but understand that we're recruiting or competing with, and now the brothers of another 11 soccer schools in the RMAC. So hopefully we'll carry a good competitive torch for those guys as well. All right. Well, thank you. We look forward to seeing you supporting us next year in 2014.
Coach Jason Henry of the men's basketball team is not here. He's out on the recruiting trail as well, but two gentlemen that are here going to try and fill the void. Lucas Nolan and Calvin Thomas. Welcome the Hard Rocker men's basketball players up here.
How's it going? As Nate said, I'm Lucas Nolan, and
Calvin Thomas.
this is Calvin Thomas. We're both it's our fourth year here. It was my senior year for basketball. I still got eligibility left for track this season. Talk about if I'm gonna do it or redshirt or what the deal is. We'll figure that out. Calvin has one more year of basketball. He redshirted his freshman year. We've been roommates for 4 years. Yeah, this is our fourth year. We've been roommates all through college, so I don't know. That's kind of an interesting fact about us. We're both chemical engineers. We have like all the same classes together, so I don't know. The season though, season was I don't know, kind of tough. We got BH both times, which was a positive, but other than that, kind of a letdown. All the games were really close. I mean, we had to be within 10 on a lot of our losses, like just right there. So, just kind of, I don't want to say like we got into a habit, but it almost was just like we were waiting for something to go wrong or something like that at the end. It's just like we kept falling into this, I don't know, routine of like we played really good and then have like a 5 or 10 minute stretch with turnovers or lack of defense or something like that, and that's just what killed us, not playing the whole game. So felt like that was kind of the name of our season. What do you think?
Uh,
Yeah.
I definitely feel like we would definitely give it all we had for stretches throughout the game, but we never we never continuously kept up the intensity throughout for the whole 40 minutes, which cost us obviously multiple games throughout the season. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that we're definitely going to strive to fix for and work on in the postseason and the preseason the next year.
Yep. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, is it, anybody got any questions for us?
Cal,
Yes, sir.
you're losing 4 pretty good seniors off the team this year.
Yes, sir.
That makes you the leader for next year. What's your goals?
Being a senior next year and following from the fellow seniors that we just had who taught me a couple of things. Definitely, I want to go out with a winning season. And in order to do that, we're definitely going to have to practice harder in the off season, lift more weights, and definitely get in more conditioning and shape in order to stick with teams until the very end on every single one of the games. So, and along with me being a senior, I got Andrew Rebel and Jordan Dick who will both be by my side helping me out throughout the year, giving me goals and helping us throughout the season and push on and get a win.
Let's talk about the emotions of playing your last game this past week.
Oh, man. Okay, so that was one of the weirdest feelings I've ever had. I've been playing basketball since the 3rd grade, organized basketball anyway. And gosh, it still it still hasn't totally sunk in. Like I'm never gonna play an organized basketball game, for this caliber, at Division II NCAA. And gosh, I can't even explain it. Like, it's like a whole. I've dedicated so much time to one thing and put a lot of effort into it throughout high school, junior high, and college, and now it's just done. It's over. So I don't know. I can't really put that feeling into words. It's a big mix. Like I'm kind of scared. I guess I could say I'm kind of scared because I had a lot of time that I just put towards basketball, and I don't know really what I'm gonna do with myself. Obviously I got track, but you know,
Schoolwork.
yeah, school. It's just man, it's just really weird. And I know I've been talking to Lance Kilburn and Caleb Shockman the past 2 days quite a bit, and it's just we're all on the same page. It's like just disbelief, like can't really grasp the full concept of it yet. But hopefully, I'll put my time towards something productive and you know stay ahead of the game in school rather than trying to catch up most of the time. That'd be nice. Yeah, definitely.
You guys may have a different opinion on this. She had a tough schedule. There's no doubt. Played a lot of teams on the road. Who was the toughest team you played?
Toughest team to play. Besides Johnson and Wales, or
They were, I guess, the last one.
yeah, gosh,
On the road.
I would say the toughest team we played. Fort Hayes.
Tarleton.
So yeah, so I would say
Tarleton.
those were Tarleton. They're number 2 right now, and they just had some really crazy athletes on their team.
They gave us.
Really, they were a good team. But you know who else was really good that we played earlier on was Colorado Mines, and I think they only have
Yeah, I
3
forgot about that
losses.
game.
They only have 3 losses so far, and I think they're top 10, maybe number 9 or something like that. So they're a really good team too.
Just overall, it wasn't an easy schedule on the road. I was
Yeah.
thinking back about every one of the games. Most of them were pretty hard. We really didn't have any easy. Just come in, show up, play, and get a win.
Yeah, it's like you just said. Every game was like
Bring a game. Or,
yeah. If you don't play the whole 40 minutes, you're gonna get beaten. I mean, that was pretty apparent for our record anyway. Any other questions?
Highlight of your basketball career.
The highlight of my basketball career.
If I had to say for this season, highlight of this season is definitely sweeping BH. That beating them at the Civic Center was definitely huge. Meant a lot. So
Highlight of my basketball.
not for your career. Mine's not over. I still have one more year, so I'll get that to you next time.
Okay, so I know this isn't a highlight, but one of our goals coming into this season was, we wanted to sweep BH. But then another goal, none of the seniors this year had beaten Sioux Falls. We'd lost to them every year, and we finally got a win against them in a, tooth and nail game, and that was, I felt pretty dang good after that. In high school, I had to play Mike Mike Dietz. I played him four times my junior year, his senior year, and lost to him every time. But we made it to the state championship my junior year in high school. So that was really fun. So, but then we lost to Mike again. So,
And then playing with me, of course.
well, yeah. I mean, Calvin's just the beacon of my basketball career, just the highlight right there.
Thanks, guys. Great.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, as we wrap things up, just want to let everybody know this is the last Hardrock Club Coaches Luncheon for this year, but we look forward to coming back next fall and some tweaks on the way, some changes on the way, some exciting things coming. So you'll probably hear from me. You definitely hear from me before next fall, that's for sure. But that's the plan, coming back next fall. So thanks for everyone's support. Go Hardrockers. Thanks.